The Buffalo Sabres head into the Olympic break in a playoff spot, wildcard number 1. That comes even after dropping their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4. Sabres, though, are going to return to action on the 25th at New Jersey. And then for the Olympics, Tage Thompson for the United States and Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden are the Sabres taking place. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was unable to go due to a lower body injury. Now to Italy. While some of the events have already begun, the opening ceremony is currently going on as we speak. Men's hockey is going to begin next Wednesday, while the U.S.'s first game will be next Thursday when they take on Latvia. And in other hockey news, one of the top prospects for this upcoming draft, Gavin McKenna, is having his felony aggravated assault charge withdrawn by prosecutors. Over to the NFL. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend. Patriots versus Seahawks. Seattle looking for their first championship since 2013, their second overall, while New England is going for their 7th overall and the first since 2018. And a win on Sunday would also give the Patriots the sole lead in Super Bowl victories. They are currently tied with Pittsburgh at 6. Kickoff on Sunday is at 6:30. Coverage right here on WGR will begin at 4 p.m. And a coaching shakeup for the Browns. Jim Schwartz has resigned as defensive coordinator. There have been rumblings that this could happen after Todd Monken was named the head coach, and now it is official. Schwartz, though, will likely have to sit out the season as he's still under contract with the Browns. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it, and
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mobile rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need the spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
All right, I guess we start. I mean, we're both in here crushing on the Winter Olympics every time we do this. You said you like... Is Brandon Bean the DJ? Didn't that look like him? You say you like the Winter Olympics more than the summer. I cannot go that far.
I definitely do, yeah.
I love the swimming and the track.
I think the time of the year has a little bit to do with it. Because I like swimming and track just fine.
Do you?
But I also like, being on a boat, which is hard to do like today or this weekend. Here,
so you don't watch as much.
You're right. Yeah, I'm just not going to be as clued into it. I mean, I enjoy the Summer Olympics, but if I had to choose one or the other, I think I would always choose winter.
Would you also choose 6 hours ahead? Just personally, I think I would. I'm going to love these next 2 weeks.
Yeah?
Well, because I'm home in the morning. Like I watched curling yesterday or the day before at 4 a.m. It started. Tomorrow starts at 4 a.m. U.S. is 4-0. Like, I might not be up at 4. Hopefully I'm not. That's not what I'm going for.
On a Saturday, yeah.
Or any day. Yeah. But when I wake up at 6, like this morning, kids are on the bus at 6:30.
Yeah.
When I'm up at 6, I'm turning it on. It's there.
I'm going to have to see if that usually does take hold once an Olympic Games, they're underway. But even today I tried a little. Late morning, I went in to Peacock because that's the only outlet I've got for any of this stuff because Fubo's still not carrying any of the NBC channels.
No one talks about that.
I know. It's just like there was an uproar when YouTube didn't have ESPN for like 5 minutes. It was longer than that. I know it was a few weeks, but this has been already more than a month. I think
way
longer.
more.
Yeah.
Way more.
Anyway, so I went in there and. Oh, okay. Well, there's a bunch of curling. Like I don't. Not that I don't enjoy watching the odd curling during the Olympics, but I know I'm going to get my fill from you. I'll know. So I went. Well, what else is on? And I found there was figure skating training. It's early. I mean, the opening ceremonies are going on now as we speak.
Skiing practice,
but that had ended. Like I'm going to have to familiarize myself with how the Peacock app works.
Well, yeah, I guess now's the time.
Because I go in there and it's like, there's a pretty screensaver type thing that I believe would have been the region where the Olympics are taking place. And it said something like, this programming will resume momentarily. So I sat there for a few minutes and was doing some other stuff. And I looked up and said, this event has ended.
Does anybody
I just saw it said live. What are you talking about?
Does anybody else have Fubo, rather? Like, the YouTube thing was an uproar.
Yeah.
And Fubo, I don't know. Are we the only two people that have it?
Maybe.
Does anybody know anything about this or have anything to offer as to how that's going to play out?
Yeah,
because the Olympics and the Super Bowl are right now.
Right. It's a little late, maybe.
Is it too late?
To raise.
No, all they have to do is flip a switch, make a deal, sign on the line, flip the switch, and it's back.
Yeah, but I wonder about that. Like I have it. I don't. I mean, I assume they're have millions of subscribers, but I don't know. I've never gone in to look at their business model or anything.
I think it might be hundreds.
Okay. I mean, I only have it, which I'm assuming you have it for the same reason I have it. It's the streaming service I could find that has MSG for the Sabres.
I don't remember why I picked it.
That was why I
knew about it from you.
It. Yeah, that was it wasn't on YouTube, and those are the two big, as far as I know. Please do not send me your. I pay $8 and I get everything.
I don't want that.
Email and Twitter. I appreciate you. I just no.
But I do want. I'd like to know about an honest alternative.
Yeah.
Like maybe YouTube is more expensive, but one time my wife and I watch all the Food Network stuff, and then one time we were getting ready for the new season of, Tournament of Champions, and it wasn't there. Like, oh, I guess we don't get this. But NBC is a big one.
Yeah.
And if not for Peacock, I think I'd be out already. But I have Peacock. I'm getting away with it.
Right. Yeah, I have not found another way to get the Sabres. Short of getting another, I could get YouTube, which doesn't have MSG, and then I think through them pay for the Gotham thing. Because you need to have a carrier. You can't just get Gotham and get the Sabres games.
Gotham.
I've had both.
That's
YouTube,
when it ends for me.
I've had both YouTube and Fubo, and I find YouTube to be superior in every way. Picture quality, ease of navigating the app itself, everything about it is better than Fubo. The MSG holds me hostage. I mean, I want to see the Sabres games, so that's why I have it. If they would get on YouTube, I would ditch Fubo in a second. And not just because of this fight, because everybody has these fights now and then. Like we said, YouTube had one with ESPN earlier in football season. But there was an endless amount of complaining about that on social media. And I feel like if I started complaining about NBC not being on Fubo, I might be the only one. I never see any reference to it.
I know.
So it's kind of weird.
Well, I was watching Joe and Sam pre-chicken dinner when they were on the Odyssey show in the mornings, and there was that period where ESPN was not on YouTube, which you referenced, and they were always complaining about that, but it wasn't 2 weeks. I mean, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I saw that in other places, but I just knew about that from them. And they're not there, but they have YouTube anyway, so they're not going to be complaining about this, I think. We'll talk to Sam in a little while. I don't know. Here's your bi-weekly episode of Bulldog and me complaining about the world is moving too fast for us now. And, if you want the Sabres, get YouTube and just subscribe to them or the NHL or whatever it is you can do where you get hockey. You might get all the games. Jeremy would know.
That's
not possible?
I don't think so. No. Right. I don't believe it works.
Well, I guess this would be the year where I would have to I'd get pushed into it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't missed the Sabres in the last 5 years.
Right. And now
I'd be missing. Like last night was another one where I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. Fubo did, and Sneaky Joe also has Fubo, so he's reminding me. And I knew this. I think I mentioned this on the air when this first started. They are crediting us, or whatever. They're pulling, I think it's $10 or $15 a month off of the bill, Fubo, because they don't have the NBC channels. So you can use that to pay for Peacock in the interim, which, okay, fine. But it just would be way more convenient, to surf around. If I want to watch the golf, and I want to watch the Olympics, and I want to watch, I don't know, whatever else is on this weekend. I mean, with no hockey, it's a little light for me, but like basketball, anything. Yeah,
NBA.
You got to go, close out the thing you're watching, close out the sports section of the thing you're watching, then close out the main page, get to the app page, find the other app, go in there, do that, all that stuff in reverse. But by the time you do that, if you want to like miss a commercial or something on the thing you're watching, the commercial's over. It's just not very convenient.
I hate it, and I hate complaining about it almost equally.
Right. Okay. Well, good.
It makes me feel so inferior and old to complain about it, but I feel like it's righteous.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I'm having friends over for the game, and I guess the plan has to be to watch it on Peacock, which to me, sort of in a common sense way, isn't any different than watching it on NBC. If it's the same production, which it probably is.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
But it's because it's still a stream. But with Peacock, like watching a game, it feels like it's just sort of fits and starts. Like every few seconds it stops, and then it sort of, rallies, and then it stops, and then it rallies. Not always, but I don't know. It's already.
I don't have that problem with any of my apps, but okay.
With the Sabres now, if I'm on my phone with the game on, somebody is texting about the goal that I haven't seen yet. And I'm not behind.
Right.
Like I didn't pause it for 5 minutes to, feed the dog or anything. Like I'm not behind, but it still happens. Like last night, what? Sam's not, it's not his fault, but like, oh man, some big game. Sam and Joe separately, it's happened to me with both of them. Oh, I know. It was the World Series. Sam or Joe, one of them, texted me with one out in the top of the ninth of Game 7. And I looked at my phone and it said, oh, no. Like, okay, well, this is going to be a home run from this 9-hitter on the Dodgers. Like, just,
oh, no.
I can't.
Oh, no is right.
I'm not disciplined enough to. I want to be on my phone for games. Like, that's sort of where you're sort of interacting with people.
Yeah.
That's better than how it used to be pre all this.
Sure, you feel like you're watching. Yeah,
you're watching the game with everyone.
I feel like I'm watching a game with numerous groups of different friends. Yeah, right. Because they all have, I have like 4 different text threads going, and everyone's got something to say about the game if it's that big a game.
I just refuse to be the guy that tries to inform everybody in my world, do not text me during games.
Right.
Because then I'm 80 years old.
You don't want to get there. Yeah.
Right. Then I'm just like, wait, I'm over.
Right.
If that happens.
It's good that you are, I mean, I don't like feeling self-conscious either. But it's good of you to notice that because you just reminded me that Tuesday night was ESPN Plus, right, and Hulu. So I get home. I stayed until 7:30 doing pregame and got home. And, that's always kind of a scramble. Get dinner together. My wife was at work. And I'm watching the game in the kitchen on my iPad. And I'm nowhere near my phone. My phone's in the living room. Eventually, it's, 8 o'clock. The first period's almost over by the time I sit down. And I look at my phone, and I notice there's a voicemail, and it's my parents. My dad called. And he's like,
where's the game?
He's like, I thought it said ESPN, and I get all the ESPN channels, and I just, am I going crazy over here? Can you give me a call? Like, oh, and I'm 45 minutes late, right? I mean, he called me at like 7:35, looking for the hockey game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, Dad. You don't have it. It's on a thing you don't have. You need the internet. So, like, that kind of
sucks.
Are
they not on the internet?
Absolutely not. My parents? No.
Really?
They have DirecTV or cable. They alternate. My dad, whatever deal is good at the time, like he tells the other one to, get bent and then changes.
But they literally do not have Wi-Fi or anything?
They don't have a computer. They don't have smartphones.
Wow.
Yeah, no, they're 90.
I guess I thought everybody did.
No.
I mean,
yeah.
If affordable, I would have thought there was no age limit to that.
There is no Wi-Fi in my parents' house.
There's no necessity for it?
No.
I don't mean like watching sports.
No.
There's no...
No, I mean, they have a landline and they have a cell phone, but it's just not a smartphone. Like
they've never had the internet?
No. Wow. We have.
Am I the only one kind of taken aback by that?
We have a way to reach them if we need to.
Like, I know my mom does because she's always chatting in the GR
She's
chat.
in the bullpen.
She must have the internet because she's always chatting. So I never really thought about a possibility that she wouldn't have the internet. My in-laws do. They're in their 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
Yep. My in-laws do as well. They're not in their 80s, but yeah, but my folks are just at that, they're no Facebook, no, nothing. They've never had it, and I don't think they're about to start now.
Do you remember? All right, well, now we're on this topic. When Facebook, so what's the origin of Facebook? It's college. It's for college kids or, young adults. The social network, right? So Facebook is sort of a new internet way where young people are interacting and meeting. And then however many years later, I would have been, I don't know, in my 30s at least. Like, all right, well, Facebook seems cool. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to interact with my friends and family and share kid pictures and vacation pictures and everything. And so, that was interesting at the time, but there were a few people in my world who would absolutely not. And they were not old. They were contemporaries of mine. One woman I went to high school with, she emailed me one time, where are you on Facebook? No, I would never. She had never did Facebook. I had a girlfriend who never did Facebook. And thinking about that now, I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm sort of jealous because now I want to undo everything, kind of. I feel like I wish I hadn't, we were tweeting pictures of our kids, and then at some point, maybe they were 4 or 5 years old or something, and my wife was like, this is their lives. You really don't, maybe we shouldn't do this. And she was definitely done with it. And all right, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
It seemed harmless, but, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's their lives, not mine. It's my family. But anyway, I look back on it and, I respect the people. And I did then, but I even do more so now that never even opened the door to it, right? I don't know about not having Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
Well, if you're not, if you don't stream TV and you don't have a computer and you don't, what are you paying, whatever you pay a month for it? I mean, they don't have any use for it. They don't
play Wordle?
It just does not exist.
The crosswords?
No, my mom gets puzzle books.
That's good too.
So it's all old school. It's all old school over there. So that's how that goes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Super Bowl is Sunday, Super Bowl 60. We'll talk to Sam Panay. The line has not moved. Evan Abrams, who we used to talk to, has a stat that this is, did you see this? 17 years in a row where the line has been under 5.
Ooh, I did not see that.
That's incredible. I mean, there was, in the era of NFC dominance, there were double-digit favorites.
Yeah.
17 in a row. It's 4.5. Maybe it gets to 5. But it hasn't moved at all.
That's right. It was 4.5 the first time I looked at it middle of last week, and I feel like it's just sat there the whole time.
What does that tell you? Anything interesting? Because there is a common sense argument for the Patriots. Isn't there? They've won 17 games, and they've pretty much cruised to this point. Who are the Seahawks? Who's Sam Darnold? Does it feel, what feels like the public side? Take the points? I think it does. I'll just say it. That's why I like Seattle so much.
Yeah.
It feels to me that 4.5, we'll see what Sam says, but it's sticking there tells me that there's enough real pressure against the Patriots side to justify that number, because giving more than 3 to the Patriots, to me, I'm an amateur, but to me seems, a little bit risky. And that just makes me want to bet the Seahawks. Because New England, I'm saying it, the same thing different ways. New England seems pretty tempting at 4.5. I mean, they never lose.
Yeah. I don't I'm not sure if the general, the audience, the casual football fan right, that has a favorite team and pays attention to the league and watches the playoffs. I'm describing what I think are most football fans. Right? The big game is on. I'm going to watch it, and not just the Super Bowl, but like the playoffs, like standalone playoff game. All right, I'm here. I'm watching. I don't know that and we've got a real good handle on who these teams are. Either of them, like Seattle. I think Seattle. It looks to me to be the better team by more than 4.5 points myself. Like if I were setting a line for what I thought people were going to do, that line would be closer to a touchdown to me. And maybe I'd get killed on New England. I don't know. But I feel like Seattle is the better team significantly. I think the schedule should work against New England. It's absolutely righteous to point out that they have lost one game in however many weeks, 17 weeks or whatever it was, like all these weeks since they've lost. They lost to the Bills in the rematch, and that's the only time they've lost since very early in the year. I just don't think they have enough. And furthermore, I think there's still sort of a New England fatigue out there because they're back in the Super Bowl already. And again, like a certain kind of casual fan, like, what? Them already? I thought, what happened to the Chiefs? What happened to the Ravens? What happened to the Bills? Not even to mention the Broncos, who had as good a record as they were the 1 seed. I just don't think the game is. This is not to speak to which side you should be on. I just don't think this game is registering that much for it feels like the most non-interesting, just uninterested Super Bowl I can remember.
Oh, I don't know. You said a version of that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just not there. I don't know. It feels weird to me, this game. Like if it were Matthew Stafford and the Rams, maybe that would be better. Because you saw them a few years ago, and he's been around a long time, and now he's the MVP. And like you said, who's Sam Darnold? Like journeyman, is he really that good? Right?
He's a better story than Stafford.
He has a great story, but it's a story you got to kind of work at. Like I just don't think there's much to really grab you in this game. I just don't. I don't feel it at all. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm having some friends over too, and I put some dry rub on some ribs already today. Like I'm ready to go, but it's just not. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Maybe that's just me. Every time I've said that, you sort of like, yeah.
No, I don't resent it.
No,
I just
I
don't
don't
agree. I don't feel the same
right.
way.
I don't mean to imply that you're resenting it. It's
I
just
like the game.
Yeah, I don't at all. Like I'm as close to how you've been. You mentioned in the past how you didn't watch Ravens-Niners.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Denver-Seattle.
Like that is where I feel like I'm at. But I'm too addicted. I will watch it, but I honestly barely care. It's just something about it. New England is probably the reason. Like it's really pissing me off that they're there, and not even that the Bills aren't. It's New England, and I don't want to deal with that. So. I
get.
So I don't know. I'm not really, addressing the question, which is what to do with the spread. Like, what side do you want to be on? But a part of what I don't find that interesting is I don't think New England's that good, and yet they had this incredible season where they won all these games and they're there. But I just don't. I think they're a poser.
Well, I mean, okay. Especially painful for Bills fans,
right?
Knowing that this New England season has happened and it's not over yet. We will talk to Sam Panay next on the game and what he thinks the line tells us, what to do, prop bets. Joe Ostrowski told us yesterday that today was the day where you got some real information on prop bets, and you and I both probably got text from Sam about how long it took Charlie Puth to sing the word brave in practice. So brace yourselves for that.
I did see that
out there. Aaron Schatz will join us, and we're hoping for Trista Crick, but haven't heard for sure yet. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. It is, Friday of the big game. Thanks for joining us. This is WGR.
You're talking about the closeness of the vote and that first place vote that separates them. Who on God's green earth voted for Justin Herbert? That one lonely vote cost Drake May potentially an MVP vote. Now, Josh Allen got 2 votes. I'm still trying to figure out that part as well. But the Herbert vote is the difference between a Drake May MVP going into the biggest game or Matthew Stafford finishing a very close second, and we're having a completely different conversation.
That's Emery Hunt, and we know who voted for Justin Herbert. Sam Monson.
Right.
Sam Monson raised his hand and said, that was me. Very interesting. It was really close. 1 first-place vote separate, 5 points. Allen 3rd, McCaffrey 4th, Trevor Lawrence 5th. Justin Herbert got the 1 first-place vote. That might have been his only vote of any rank. Really good. Well, congratulations to Bulldog. His favorite player in sports history won the MVP. They go back a long time together.
Yeah.
With us now on the West Her Hotline, Friday afternoon, it is Sam Panay. You know him from Chicken Dinner, legendary sports betting analyst, known for his, well, among other things, positive energy, his love for the Bills, his height, kind of tall, good sweaters.
His being thoughtful enough to bring a unopened bottle of whiskey to a house party.
I mean, yes, but that's like the coach who says, you got to give my guys credit for the effort. Can't I just assume the effort? Can I just assume if you're going to go to a party, you're going to have something for the host? Anyway, Sam, how have we done here promoting you? Mixed?
These intros are getting better and better. They are so good. You forgot the part when I brought little mini guys for Mrs. Bulldog and I. She was very excited about those, remember?
Of course, Sam.
Mini drink options? Was that?
Yeah, they were like little vodka lemonades. She was ecstatic. I didn't know it was her birthday either, so I was like, I brought you a present. Here you go.
Yeah. Well done.
You brought up Big Bills guy. It's funny you say that. I'm very bad at laundry. Like, I'm good at a lot of things. I'm bad at laundry. I just got through a couple loads of laundry, and I found the Bills shirt that I bought for the Broncos game, and a tear may have rolled down my face when I saw it in the dryer.
So sad.
You bought a shirt for the game to watch the game in?
I was so confident. I said on this show, well, when we get to the AFC Championship, I bought a shirt. It wasn't even a conversation that they were going to lose that game.
You know, I was thinking about this yesterday. It didn't come up, and maybe it comes up later or whenever, but I think of all the teams in the league who are not in the Super Bowl on Sunday, the Bills would be the team where I think if I were they, I'd be the most bitter about it. And I think last year I might have also been the Bills for this, where I felt like I had the best claim to a spot in the game. Now, they didn't make it as far as the AFC Championship game, but I don't know, Denver, Sam, with the quarterback hurt. I think the Bills might be more, again, bitter about not being there than even Denver. And no team in the NFC could really convince me that they belong, other than the Seahawks. I mean, the Rams had chances. They didn't get there. So it's another year, and maybe there have been a few in the last 6 seasons where, well, we know it's been at least some form of this. Like, how is this not us again? Kind of like that, bottom line.
I think it's more frustrating because, I mean, aside from the fact that they should have won, they were favored in the game. They would have been favored against the Patriots. And if it's Bills Seahawks, we're talking about, I don't know, Seattle -1, Seattle -1.5. So it's all in the math, but the math don't do what it's supposed to do. You're frustrated about it. The only good thing is that we got a great number now on Lindy Ruff to win Coach of the Year. How about that?
Shh, they've lost 3 of 4 going into the Olympic break, Sam.
We woke up Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and he was the favorite.
Right.
Maybe Tuesday morning. And we talked to Greg Wyshynski, whatever day that was, from ESPN, Sam, and brought this up to him. And he brought up John Cooper from Tampa. And he's like, he's never won it. Like, one of these years, maybe give it to the guy whose team is always like the best team. Well, that seems reasonable. And then Greg put an article up that day handicapping all the awards in hockey. And like, it's Cooper again. And then on the broadcast, the Sabres are playing the Lightning that night. And the broadcasters make the same point. You know, maybe one time he should win. The Sabres are going to have to beat Tampa, Bulldog, twice in their 3 remaining meetings for Ruff to win.
Yeah.
I kind of think that, but we're definitely live, Sam.
Oh, we're live. Here's what I would correlate Cooper to. He's the Andy Reid of the NHL. He always has like one of the better teams, and certainly has some of the best players. So, Andy Reid's a tremendous coach, but as long as Andy Reid's been in Kansas City, he's never even sniffed the award. So I feel like the voters and the people that decide this kind of stuff, they want a better story. And what's a better story than the Sabres overachieving?
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, Andy Reid and John Cooper both. Their teams are stacked. They're supposed to be great. And then if they're great, okay, well, what's my reaction supposed to be? Not slowly nodding. Yeah, okay. There's no story, really. It's just great team was great. Congrats, to steal Mike's line.
Yes.
Exactly. How healthy is Emin Worry, by the way? Do we know?
Did you see him getting out of the van? Was that
No, I didn't. No.
Don't look.
Man.
He got out of a van and walked into the practice facility, and he's limping badly. Like that didn't look good.
Yeah, sounds like me on a Friday night living out of an Uber.
Yeah. At least maybe no scooter and boot. Is that a plus? Because that would be bad.
One time, though, I showed up with an eye patch on. I don't know where I got it, but I was rocking it.
That's funny. What did you think of the results last night in the NFL awards? Any surprises for you?
Not really. I personally have no interest in complaining about a guy voting for Justin Herbert. Now, if I had money on Drake May, I'd be fuming, but I didn't. I believe it or not, I only made one award bet this year, and that was McCaffrey, offensive player, and he shouldn't have won. It is what it is. Last year I had Barkley. This year I had McCaffrey. Didn't work out. I'm happy for Joe. That was my big takeaway because Joe gave out JSN at 50-1, so that was exciting. And I'm a Chicago guy through and through. The Bears fans are, how did Ben Johnson not win? Well, Mike Vrabel's in the Super Bowl, idiot. That's how. They're 17-3, and they unseated the Bills, and here they are. That's a lock for Mike Vrabel to win. So I didn't have any issues. I always felt guys like Stafford was going to get the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think maybe it makes sense. But I didn't have a lot of bets, and I was mostly happy for Joe to hit JSN.
You loved Puka way back when you and I talked about that when I was drafting, 11 months ago or something like that. And that was a great call. I mean, he looked as good as anybody. Didn't quite get there, but that was close.
I'll have somebody next year. We'll find somebody that had a down year. The guy that comes to mind, I'm curious to see what the Vikings do at quarterback next year because I've got some friends near the organization, and they're like, yeah, they might move on already from McCarthy, which is a disaster. But think about what if you bring in a
Jefferson,
vet?
right?
Yeah, exactly. Because nobody's going to bet him because the way that market works is people bet what they last saw, and that's why I had Barkley because everybody was talking about McCaffrey because McCaffrey had just won it, so we got to bet McCaffrey again. And then I bet Barkley, and then this summer everybody was betting Barkley, and nobody was betting McCaffrey. So you kind of want to get the other side of the equation. Justin Jefferson's probably going to be 20-1, 18-1. That's my first thought, and I haven't even seen odds yet.
Mid-second round in early fantasy drafts, by the way. So, yeah, there's definitely a discount. I'll give you a name. You like a good price, right? We like a chance to win big. Here's a name for me. Might be, I know. Might be the most talented player at his position. Whole new everything next year. Genty.
I like him in Kubiak's offense, that's for sure. They got to spend some money on the offensive line. That's what they got to do.
Well, we'll see if they do, but I'm going to want to be drafting a lot of him, probably late first round, early second, with Sam Panay. All right, the game Sunday. We were talking a minute ago about how the line hasn't moved, and maybe you'd have a deeper perspective on that. What does that tell you? What does the number itself tell you?
It always felt a little high at 4.5, 5, to be honest with you, and that's not a biased thing. That's what my numbers say. I've got Seattle 3.2 on a neutral over New England. So I haven't made a bet yet on the side or total. I have 6 bets, including a bet on Charlie Puth to hold the word brave for over 3.5 seconds. Believe it or not, I'm going to lose it in my house when he holds brave. But I want to bet. I want to bet the Patriots. I knew you guys would love it. Yeah, Charlie Puth over 3.5 seconds on Brave. I'll win $52 because that's all I could get down on it. The Patriots have been so good ATS this year. I mean, they've covered 15 of 20, And a lot of those games, you got to remember, they were favored in. They've only been a dog 6 times this year, and they covered 4 of those 6. So if my number is 3.2 and you're going to give me 5, I don't know why I haven't done it yet. And then you also compound that with the fact that, like, everybody's on Seattle. Everybody likes Seattle. Like, just the way we thought in the summer. You're going to lay 4 points with Sam Darnold in a Super Bowl, right? Like, it's crazy to me. But, Seattle's really good. Defensively, they're awesome. Special teams are solid. Another bet I made, just to throw it out there, I have Shaheed at 50-1 to win MVP.
Yes. We talked about this yesterday. I heard you guys talking about that.
He's going to have a kick or a punt in a high leverage moment, you would think. Now, he's going to have to take it to the house, but it's possible. He's got the speed. We know Kubiak loves him, too, because Kubiak was his OC in New Orleans, so brought him across to Seattle. I don't know, guys. Like, I'll probably, if I can get like a 5 or a 5.5 on game day, I'll probably take it, but I don't really love it, to be honest with you.
We talked about Shaheed, your stuff on him yesterday, and I brought up Desmond Howard. You guys might have done the same thing. Desmond Howard in Super Bowl 31, when he won the MVP, did not touch the ball on offense. He did that. He won the MVP anyway. And they scored 35 points. But nobody really had a big receiving day or rushing day. Favre was just there. And Desmond Howard, he had this probably matters. This is one reason why I like him and worry. He had the regular season. Like, he might have led the league in punt return or kickoff return touchdowns that season. So he's already kind of like in your head. Mm-hmm. And he had a kickoff return touchdown to cap the score. It was third quarter only, but to cap the scoring in that game and won the MVP. That was probably a pretty close vote. So something like that. Plus, but Shaheed, the point originally was going to be that he will touch the ball on offense. You could get a long pass out of him. You could even get a rush explosive play out of him. So I don't mind it at all.
It was priced, too. I think DraftKings had 25, MGM had 30, FanDuel had 50. I'm like, yep, I'll take that. Let's see. I got first quarter under 8.5. I play that mostly every year. It's a good bet. Offenses are rusty. Defenses are rested and ready. I like that. First quarter under 8.5. I also bet Drake May's under on rushing. There's another one that's just like so sexy. What, you guys like it or what?
No, this also came up
yesterday
because I wondered out loud whether this would be like a public bet over 37.5. Maybe it was.
It opened 28.5.
Right, that's what Joe told us yesterday. It's just it's climbed, and he thinks it might even get to 40 by Sunday.
That answers
that.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to wait. I saw it nine yards higher, and I pounced, so I got that. I mean, everybody likes it. Well, we just had 60 last game. Okay, well, last game's over, and Seattle has a really good defense. And then here's another one I haven't pulled the trigger on. Cooper Kupp on yards, 32.5. Like, we know he's going to have 6 catches, right, in the game. Like, it's going to happen. Like, I haven't bet it yet, but if they're going to double JSN, you get the best route runner on the field, and he only has to get you 33 yards. That one feels like it's so easy, but at the same time, like, people are off Cooper Kupp. So I have a feeling I'll bet that one too, over 32.5 yards on Kupp.
I got to find that Brave. I do have Ramparts under 1.4 seconds, but I didn't see Brave anywhere.
You got Ramparts, really? What are you doing on Gatorade?
I got the under.
Gatorade?
I got the under on Ramparts, Sam. That's what I have. I have the under on Ramparts.
You got any Gatorade action for me?
No. What's the smart play on Gatorade?
They blasted lemon lime today.
They blasted lemon lime.
They bet it. It was 3-1 this morning. Now it's minus 130.
They blasted lemon lime. Beat that rest of the show.
There's got to be some intel in there somewhere. Somebody knows. Somebody's seen like the stockpile of Gatorade for the game.
Lemon lime. All right. I have. This is just tailing Hayden Winks, Sam, but under 3.5 yards on Kenneth Walker's first carry.
Okay.
I know. What do you even say, right? What is there to say about that? It's
the one bet, the sharpest guy that I know, he bet Mac Hollins under 2.5 catches.
All right.
Now that's gotten hit a little bit. It was like minus 120 on the open. Now it's minus 150 or 60. I saw one book had minus 200. They think Mac Hollins is going to be a ghost on Sunday. So
right.
They just tell me to bet, and I bet. I don't ask questions.
I have Hollins anytime touchdown.
Well, 1 catch, 2 catches, we both win.
Yeah, let's hope. Well, what? Go ahead, Bulldog.
I don't. I'm waiting over here to just say if I'm starting to put something together. I don't have anything in yet. I'm feeling the way I felt I don't know, Sam, I don't think I said it to you on the Friday before the Bills lost to Denver, but by the time we got to the end of that show that day, like, I like the Bills and I like them kind of easy, and I feel the same way about this game. I'm gonna bet Seattle up to like 10, 13. I'm gonna do something stupid with the spread, because New England, has there ever been a team that's done less in the playoffs to get to a Super Bowl? I know they can't control the weather, but like they get one takeaway in Denver territory, win that game. C.J. Stroud can't stop giving them the ball the week before, and the week before that is the Chargers. And no offense to Sam Monson's MVP bet, but Herbert is just terrified all the time. And their regular season schedule is a bunch of fired coaches and NFC South teams. I think Seattle's going to kill this team. I think they're the better team, and I don't think it's that close.
Yeah, man, do your thing then. I mean, whatever you feel you got to do. I imagine if you're going to do that, you want to play some Drake May over on attempts. You kind of want to correlate what you think.
Yeah, right.
If they're getting killed, he's going to throw the ball 50 times.
Right.
So you may want to look at a Seahawks alt spread. You might want to look at Ramondre Stevenson under on yards, Drake May over on completions, over on attempts. Things like that. You want to just kind of correlate with what you think, and maybe some unders on Patriots kicker, Borregales. I mean, you want to just kind of load that the way that makes sense for you.
Do you bet the Olympics?
I do, if I have the right info. I got nothing for you, though. I heard you guys talking yesterday about USA women's hockey. They're like legit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I won't pretend to know the whole field, but from what it looked like USA versus Canada in their preseason stuff, USA was dominant in those games, and Canada seems to always have the edge historically. But, USA has been close to, if not on their level, for a number of years. And maybe this year I would think that is just like this team is much better. But I'm not claiming to be an authority on that. It's just a gut feeling.
Yeah, I'm behind on Olympics. I'm behind on college basketball a little bit too, but I did bet some St. Louis to make the Final Four. They got that really fun kid with the goggles that used to play at Indiana State.
Love the fun kid with the goggles.
Yeah, well, they call him Cream Abdul-Jabbar, Cream. It's a great nickname. So I did bet them like 50-1 to make the Final Four, and watch out for my Illinois team. Those guys are loaded in Champaign. They're really good.
Wednesday morning, like 6 o'clock, I get a text from Sneaky Joe. I'm betting Estonia in the mixed curling. So that's out there too. What a great time to be alive. Sam Panay, enjoy the game Sunday, and thanks for your time as always.
Enjoy the game. Good luck, and you guys will think about me when Charlie Puth brings Brave to the house.
Hey, listen, if Emin-Wari hits, we'll all be hanging out very soon.
Yes.
I might retire if that hits.
All right, thanks, Sam. We'll talk to Aaron Schatz coming up at 4. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR. Caller 5 at 716-221-4WGR 4947 wins a pair of tickets to see Tim McGraw with special guest 49 Winchester at Darien Lake Amphitheater Saturday, August 1st, courtesy of Live Nation. Tickets went on sale this morning, at Ticketmaster.com. We had a Clash documentary on in here earlier this week, but Bulldog was not impressed. As much as you love the Clash, you felt like you were watching something that you've probably already seen.
It's very. I mean, this is not to blame the makers of this documentary. It's just there's only so much footage of a band that started in 1976 and finished up in 1984, right? So I think I've consumed just about every bit of media that there is available. I'm sure there's some books out there I haven't read, but I have a few. But this I don't know what channel this was that we came across, and it caught my eye. I was surfing through looking for what? I don't even know what I was looking for. Olympic coverage maybe that could have started already? I don't know. Anyway, I was just going through the guide, and like, the description says it's a story about the Clash. So I turn it on just for a few minutes, and there's a certain, if you consume a lot of music documentaries, or even documentaries about really anything, movies, famous actors, whatever.
Watergate for me.
Okay, there's a level of documentary you get to that's pretty far down the ladder, where the people are like, maybe they knew a guy whose sister knew a guy that knew a roadie. It's just these are not people that are telling you stories that they witnessed, right? They're like, I could be a guest on one of these shows about the Clash and say, like, well, when they played on their 16 Tons tour in 1978 across England, because I've read it all. And like, these people are just not people I've ever seen talk about the band before. And I've seen all the people that were there talk about the band. You know what I mean? So like, this is just sort of scraping the bottom of what you can possibly dig up and make a new documentary about, a famous band. So I was just a few minutes in, like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to see any more of these people regurgitating stories that I've already watched people tell firsthand, basically, is what's happening here.
I like it.
So I bailed out. And I'll bet Watergate or the JFK, like, there's probably a level of documentary that gets there, too, that you would turn on and be like, who are these? No, these people don't know.
It can be an eye roll.
Yeah, right.
Especially if they're spinning an agenda, then that might not happen with the Clash or Rock Band.
Probably not.
Then it's like, all right, I'm out. 5 minutes in, I know I'm not going to like this.
That's basically what happened. Yeah.
Aaron Schatz next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. The Super Bowl is Sunday. We'll talk about it some more with Aaron after the break. This is WGR.
Olympic break in a playoff spot. Wild card number 1 in the East. This comes even after dropping 3 of their last 4, including last night. But Sabres will be back in action on the 25th at New Jersey. And Sabres taking part in the Olympics, Tage Thompson for the United States and Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was initially going to take part for Finland, but is unable to due to a lower body injury. Now to Italy. While some of the events have already begun, the opening ceremony is currently going on as we speak. Men's hockey is going to begin next Wednesday, and the U.S.'s first game, that is going to be next Thursday when they take on Latvia. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend. It is Patriots versus Seahawks. Seattle looking for their first championship since 2013, their second overall, while New England is going for their 7th overall and their first since 2018. A win on Sunday will also give the Patriots the sole lead in Super Bowl victories, as they are currently tied with Pittsburgh at 6. Kickoff on Sunday is at 6:30, and coverage right here on WGR will begin at 4 p.m. And then some coaching news in the league today. Browns DC Jim Schwartz is no longer that. He has resigned as defensive coordinator. There were rumblings this could happen after Todd Monken was named the head coach. It is now official, and Schwartz is likely going to be sitting out this season as he is still under contract with Cleveland. And then Cliff Kingsbury, he is joining the LA Rams staff as an offensive assistant. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I don't love Junior Mints. I just don't hate them. I don't understand why they are treated like second-class candy.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Oh,
There's a
you don't
fantasy
understand why a
team there.
candy that is basically toothpaste wrapped up in stale chocolate is treated like a second-class candy. All right, I get it. It's a good, valid question.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Is there a time to change? You know, the 3 teams I've drafted this year, second-class candy is pretty good.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
We expect a call from Aaron Schatz any moment. We'll talk to him about the game Sunday, the season overall, and his awards votes. It's been nice to talk to Aaron for many years, but the last 2 years ago, Lamar Jackson won the MVP, 49 first-place votes out of 50. And Aaron was the lone voter to vote against Jackson. He voted for Josh Allen. And then last year, he went the other way. And I think both were easily justifiable. You never have to even say that when it comes to Aaron Schatz, in my opinion. It was Allen who won last year. And last night, it was very close. He voted for May over Stafford, and Stafford won 1 first-place vote, 5 points overall. Sam Monson, who's been on with us also many times, will be answering to his Justin Herbert choice for a long time, and I'm sure Sam is up to it. He wouldn't have made the choice if he couldn't defend it.
He's already out there, explaining whatever. I saw a chain of tweets, a thread, I should say.
It is interesting, and this is a compliment to Aaron and to Sam in this case, how you can, it's not why you vote a certain way. Here's Aaron Schatz with us on the Wester Hotline. You know, we're talking about Sam Monson and Herbert, Aaron, and yourself with Josh a couple of years ago. It's not, I think, not to speak for you, it's not why you vote a certain way, but it can lead to provoking a good, maybe necessary conversation about what the award is worth, what it means.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's definitely true of the Herbert vote. We talk about what does most valuable player mean. It's sort of an interesting discussion. I would not have done it, but I didn't do it. I didn't put him on my 5, but I understand what Sam was doing, and I'm glad that he came out and said it was him right away. And I know people have been really negative about it online. You have to understand, everyone who has the privilege to vote as one of the 50 voters takes it pretty seriously. So it's not, nobody does anything for the clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vote for a guy because you think that guy deserves the award.
You went May, Stafford, Love, Prescott, Allen. Was it not a year? Maybe your vote indicates this. Justin Herbert, thinking of him. Trevor Lawrence rated in the ultimate tally, where there were, I don't know how many, a half a dozen quarterbacks that really made you think this year.
It would be really hard for me to vote for a non-quarterback for MVP unless they changed the rules for the award, unless they said to us specifically, vote for the most valuable player compared to the average at his position. Because unless you include those words, the most valuable player is always going to be a quarterback.
Right. Well, sticking with awards, how about Coach of the Year? Mike Vrabel wins. He ends up 5th on your vote. That seemed to me this year to be especially competitive.
Oh, man, it's hard every year, but this year really was. Like, I didn't even have room on my ballot for Liam Cohen and Sean Payton, who definitely could have won the award. The weird thing I did was put Sean McVay second because, so many people vote for the big turnarounds, and obviously the Rams didn't have a big turnaround. But, I think, just because they were expected to be good, they were expected to be good in part because he's a good coach, and then he was a good coach. So, to me, he deserves to be considered for the award, although I put Mike McDonald from Seattle in my number 1 spot.
We've really had quite a run of people being upset about voting here. I don't know.
You have to. The Hall of Fame voting is a completely different animal from
right.
the awards voting. The awards voting is much more transparent because, you put 5 guys down in order, and that's your 5 votes for that award. And there isn't like this, you can only vote for this guy or, I suppose there is. You can only vote for 5 different guys.
Right.
But I feel like the voting for the awards is much more transparent.
With Aaron Schatz, was there any outcome last night that really surprised you?
The fact that Puka Nacua was not second for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. What a player, Aaron. Like that.
Yeah. To me, it was clear. Nothing against Christian McCaffrey. He wasn't that good as a runner this year. So to me, it was clear the top 2 offensive players who were not quarterback were JSN and Puka Nacua. And you could either go one way or you could go the other. But I was really surprised that Puka Nacua finished 3rd.
What a game. The game within the game in the NFC Championship, those 2 receivers. Nacua just almost seeming undeniable in that game, right down to the last play where he might have given the Rams a chance at a Hail Mary. And Smith and Jigba, who wins. Bulldog liked to point Tom Brady made on the broadcast about him, right?
His route running. Yeah, I had not heard this pointed out. I don't watch a ton of Seattle. We're hosting post game a lot when they're playing in a 4:00 window, Aaron. But Brady, I don't know if you caught this, but was talking about how subtle he is. His upper body does not give anything away on his route running. No matter what he's doing, he generally looks the same, whether he's cutting in, cutting up, cutting out, whatever. And I love hearing stuff like that because, like, a guy that's a real technician like that is, to me, to really be appreciated.
That's the best possible analysis that someone like Tom Brady can offer. Like, that's really good stuff. That's why he's so much improved. And we can talk about the debate about whether he should be allowed to be an owner and a commentator at the same time, which I think no. But as far as being a commentator, he was dramatically improved this year, and it was because of things like that.
With Aaron Schatz joining us on the West Her hotline, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Super Bowl weekend. You're out there, right, Aaron, or no?
No, I'm not. This year I did go for various reasons. I'm actually in Austin, Texas, of all things right now, but I'll be at home to watch the game. Okay,
sorry about that. How is this matchup for you historically? We've been sitting at 4.5 all week. Seattle, I saw from betting analyst Evan Abrams, this is the 17th Super Bowl in a row where the spread seems to be coming in under 5, like this long run of games that are thought to be pretty evenly matched. How is it for you in terms of that and just like how good a matchup it is through the years?
I think it's a great matchup because I feel like my job is telling everybody that both of these teams are better than you think they are. Seattle has been in my ratings as one of the best teams ever for weeks now. The Rams were too, but Seattle obviously is the team that made it to the Super Bowl. So to me, they're not just a really good team. They're like a historically good team. But the Patriots, if you weigh their more recent games with more strength, are definitely a legitimate opponent. They are very strong. They're the second team in my weighted DVOA ratings, a little bit past the Rams. And, there are some interesting circumstances like the backup quarterback in Denver and snowing sideways in the second half, et cetera. But there's no question they've been much better since October, especially in the last few weeks. And they're a worthy opponent, but Seattle looks better.
Where do you like New England to find an edge in this game, Aaron? Is it May and his ability to run around and make plays out of structure? Is it some facet of their defense that could give Sam Darnold trouble? Like, where is there an edge that you see for New England somewhere?
Blitzing. The Patriots in this run, the last 5 games, where their defense has had its best 5 games of the year, has blitzed much more than they did the rest of the season. They've been blitzing at like a 41% rate. Darnold struggled against the blitz this year. He was only 23rd in DVOA against the blitz. He even against the Rams, where he played well overall, he struggled against the blitz in that game. A couple of sacks, 4 for 7. So I think that if they blitz him, I think the most likely storyline of a Patriots upset is that they blitz the heck out of him and he sees ghosts again and self-destruct.
Where do you come down on the seemingly never tiring Darnold debate? Like, here it is, we're all the way to the Super Bowl, and you still there is that instinct to, as you might have just alluded to question whether or not he can manage in a game like this or even shine. Thinking about him through the years, and then last year and now this year with Seattle, what has been kind of your path when it comes to Darnold?
He's Jim Plunkett to me, right? Jim Plunkett was the number 1 overall pick, struggled with the Patriots, went to San Francisco, was okay, went to the Raiders, suddenly good, played, 2 Super Bowls with the help of good teammates. And I think that that's sort of Darnold's career path. I think he's proven that he can be an above-average quarterback in the NFL. But at the same time, he did decline in the second half of this year. And there is that worry about specific things like blitzing. It's not that I think Darnold is going to turn back into a pumpkin. It's that the Patriots happen to use a very specific defensive strategy that might make him turn back into a pumpkin.
I'm thinking, Aaron, now, like we had a couple of years or a few even where it was you had to have Mahomes or Jackson or Allen, to be sort of considered like a top-tier contender for the most part. Now you have May and Darnold in this game. Mahomes off a down year and a big injury. Wherever we're at with Lamar Jackson, coaching change there and in Buffalo. Are we? I think I'm up for this, not from a Bills standpoint, just as a football fan, sort of a new plateau or something where we can maybe consider, many more guys as being capable of going all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big quarterbacks will be back. I think the Chiefs will rebound next year. I think the Ravens will rebound next year. But we've already, had like Jared Goff, the Lions. Nobody considers Goff one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and they've definitely been Super Bowl contenders the last couple of years. So there's different ways to do it. You can definitely be like Denver and Seattle and build your team around other things and have a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback, and go 14-3. It's possible. You can do it different ways.
How do you feel about the Bills elevating Joe Brady? You've been watching the Bills with Joe Brady as their coordinator for 2.5 seasons here and poring over their numbers. Do you think that this was a good idea?
I feel like it doesn't get them anywhere they already weren't. I think they're going to be in the mix because they have a great quarterback, and teams with great quarterbacks are going to be in the mix. They have other good players. They have James Cook. They have the offensive line. There's good stuff going on that's going to make them a contender next year. But I feel like Brady doesn't add anything to it. I feel like there's no reason to think that their chances of going to the Super Bowl with Brady as the head coach are any different than they would have been with McDermott as the head coach. And I say that knowing they could go to the Super Bowl with Brady as their coach because they've got good players and they've got Josh Allen. But I don't see where Brady adds anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd agree or have this at the top of your head, but I was thinking yesterday how the Bills might be the team that would be the most bitter, or is the word actually bitterest, about not being in this game. And I think that would have been true last year too. No NFC team other than the Seahawks can really, lay any claim to it. Should have been us. The Rams had their chance. Right. But the AFC, the way the Bills are losing these playoff games, maybe the last 2 years, maybe 3 or 4 times, they're the team, I think. I know. Do you agree? Like they're the team that could say, this really should have been us.
I don't know what to say to soothe the Bills fans. They've lost in ridiculous ways, and it is absolutely true. The fact that the Broncos won that game and then lost their quarterback, thus making the AFC Championship game much less even. I definitely understand the frustrations.
This is historic stuff, right? Bills and Ravens both over the last 6 or 7 years. What DVOA wise, and just not getting there.
They're the best. It's like the best 5 and 6 year spans of DVOA without making it to the Super Bowl. Now, here is the bright side. I don't have DVOA going back this far, but the Rams from 1972 to 1978 would be had a similar streak where they were fabulous every year and they just couldn't get to the Super Bowl. And in 1979, they finally did.
You know what they did, Bulldog? They changed coaches.
It also reminds me a little bit of the Red Sox. It just switched sports. But the kind of close losses reminds me a lot of what happened to the Red Sox from 2000 to 2003, where it felt like they just kept getting close and then losing at the last minute, and then 2004 happened. So, like, you never know which year it's going to turn around, and all of a sudden the serendipity is going to go your way.
All right, so I'm going to need to fall behind, way, way behind in one of these playoff games, one of these years then is what I'm going to need to do, because you can't fall behind 0-3 in a football. There's no series, but still, I need to fall behind,
28-3. You
right.
Fall behind 28-3.
And then make it happen from there.
They changed managers, too, didn't they?
They did.
Grady Little to Francona?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Rams went Knox to Malavasi. Knox came here. They went to Ray Malavasi. Got to the.
I think with the Bills, I think if things had happened a week earlier, they would have ended up with Harbaugh or Stefanski as their head coach, not Joe Brady, and I would be more excited about it.
I just wonder if they would have had the appetite for it. You know, like candidate-wise, sure, but doing this was Brady so superior, say, to Udinsky. I almost forgot the name of the Jacksonville candidate, or Davis Webb, who had played for the Bills and had been around the office. That makes me wonder if they would have done the thing you're saying, but I'm sure there would have been a lot of clamor for it.
Yeah, Stefanski, I think. I mean, Harbaugh is a little bit of a different animal because he's much more of a CEO type, but with Stefanski, I think there would have been oh my God, let's get this offensive play caller in here for Josh and see what we can do.
Aaron, a couple things before you go. FTN Fantasy, I'm not sure if you're playing any fantasy stuff in the playoffs. I am. And Henderson is killing me. Like that, Stevenson this year for New England, I guess he's held up, obviously, and he's got the coach's trust after a tough start. But, man, 4 snaps for Travion Henderson in the AFC Championship. Is there any hope in your mind that he has a game Sunday?
No, because his big thing is the explosive runs, and no defense allowed fewer explosive runs this year than Seattle.
Is there any player or concept here that you're into? Like,
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry, okay.
Seattle has a bit of a problem with tight ends, relative problem in that they're average instead of awesome, and so I do like Hunter Henry to have a nice game.
Okay, like as a prop bet idea. What do you think of Kenneth Walker's chances to have a game?
I do. I like that because I think that if Seattle wins in a comfortable way, he'll get a lot of rushing yards, and they won't. I think. If you think of the mindset of people in the press box, they won't want to give Darnold the MVP award. So if Walker has a nice game, they'll be like, all right, Walker's the MVP.
Bulldog and I have a bet on Emin Worry at plus 50,000 from 3 weeks ago. Now he's injured. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know how bad the injury is. It sounds like it's not that bad.
It sounds like it's not that bad, but I saw a video of him walking. At least I think it was him getting out of a van, and okay.
Didn't look good.
I'm a little scared.
Sounds like he'll be playing at like 95%. He may be limping a little bit, but he'll be out there. He'll be rocking.
I mean, at plus 50,000, you can't really complain.
No, right. I mean, it's a dart throw all the way. But
it
is. A couple of interceptions,
Right. That's what that was the thinking. Right. Maybe a strip sack or something. Like just make a couple of splash plays and nobody else smashes, and there you go.
Aaron, what have you got to promote? What's your off-season calendar like?
I mean, FTNFantasy.com has all of our usual stuff, for picking the game, for picking props. My big Super Bowl preview is up. And then for the next couple months, I go kind of on hiatus, but I recommend the site because we have great baseball projections. We have all kinds of new NBA stats, our new NBA Stats Hub with a bunch of NBA charting, expected points models for basketball that you should really check out if you like other sports. So even though I'm kind of on hiatus, the site keeps going with other sports. And I know you have Jeff Ratcliffe, and he'll be into the dynasty draft, rookie draft stuff. Very much.
Hardcore.
All kinds of rankings for preseason, for mock drafts, and Jeff Ratcliffe does all that stuff. Yep.
Thank you very much, Aaron, as always. We appreciate your time.
All right, we'll talk to you next season.
Aaron Schatz, FTN Fantasy at A Schatz, SCHATZ NFL. I'm just in Olympics mode here. I'm just feeling like I want to respell names of countries, just give a little bit of a Portugallo instead of Portugal. I'm sort of, ready for, I'm in the mood.
It's a real trip is watching the opening ceremonies without the sound on. It really
it's a trip to watch it with the sound on.
But it is, but at least you have, it doesn't always go great, but at least the announcers are trying to explain, like they've been clued in. They have a script, right? They're told what this is supposed to mean and what this is supposed to represent. Here, this is like just a drug trip. Like I'm just looking at it. It's up to my own interpretations. I have no idea what's happening. Tough.
And it seems like maybe the feed is breaking up.
That has gone sideways. Yeah.
Probably one feed to the whole world. No, they have maybe fixed it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm watching now. A lot of dancing and spinning.
Dancing and spinning is exactly
the history of the Winter Games. I don't know. I'll probably watch it tonight. Said yesterday how we're like in a post-spoiler world when it comes to sports. I mean, I remember when I was working in Rochester, maybe it was Women's World Cup. Could have been Olympics, but I think it was Women's World Cup soccer. And I was on mornings, and I announced the result of a Team USA World Cup soccer game from like wherever in the world, China or something. And I got this one call. You'd get like a voicemail. And this guy was just absolutely in hysterics over how offended he was that, well, as I see it, I would have reported on sports, on the radio.
Right. You gave the score of the game that was going to air later on tape delay on U.S. television, I imagine.
And I heard his point. Maybe like 1998 that was, and maybe I should have said up front, here comes the women's soccer score. Maybe. I didn't really think of doing that, because didn't feel like I needed to do that. But now I would never think to do that. The fact that the opening ceremonies is on NBC Live on a Friday afternoon and not just held until tonight,
right?
Which it probably will be on again.
I imagine they're just going to re-air the entire show, maybe edit out some, like this glitch they just had. But that'll probably not be there tonight. I would imagine they'll take that out.
But not so many years ago would they have just held it.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that was Beijing, or maybe that was, there have been a few out in
I can remember
Asia.
watching opening ceremonies on Canadian television because it wasn't available in the U.S. until the evening. They were holding it back. Yeah, that definitely has happened within the last 3 or 4 Olympics. I'm sure of it.
803-0550, talking Super Bowl, the Bills season, the Sabres loss. We'll get to that as well as we continue. They're off for almost 3 weeks now. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, this is WGR.
head into the Olympic break in a playoff spot, wild card number 1 in the Eastern Conference. That's even after dropping 3 of their last 4, including last night. Sabres will be back in action, though, on the 25th at New Jersey. But for the Olympics, Tage Thompson of the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden are the Sabres taking place. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was originally set to participate for Finland, but was unable to due to a lower body injury. Over to the NFL. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend. Patriots versus Seahawks. Seattle looking for their first championship since 2013, their second overall, while New England is going for their 7th overall and first since 2018. A win on Sunday also will give the Patriots the sole lead in Super Bowl victories, as they currently are tied with Pittsburgh at 6. Kickoff on Sunday is at 6:30, and coverage right here on WGR will begin at 4. And then some coaching news in the NFL today. The Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz has resigned. There was rumblings this could happen after Todd Monken was named the head coach. It is now official, though Schwartz will likely have to sit out this season as he is still under contract with the Browns. And Cliff Kingsbury is joining the Rams staff as an offensive assistant. His exact title with the Rams will be determined at a later date. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
The Patriots in this run, the last 5 games, where their defense has had its best 5 games of the year, has blitzed much more than they did the rest of the season. They've been blitzing at like a 41% rate. Darnold struggled against the blitz this year. He was only 23rd in DVOA against the blitz. He even against the Rams, where he played well overall, he struggled against the blitz in that game. A couple of sacks, 4 for 7. So I think the most likely storyline of a Patriots upset is that they blitz the heck out of him and he sees ghosts again and self-destruct.
Aaron Schatz just with us a few moments ago. FTN Fantasy is with now. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for joining us. New England, 1 win away from a 7th Super Bowl win. And this, its 12th appearance. What is this now? So,
disgusting.
Half my life, half Super Bowl history, which is a little bit older than my history. Not a lot. They were irrelevant. New England was, they went to Super Bowl 20. As a fluke team, like they were a wild card team. They won 3 road games. Nobody had really done that. Maybe somebody had done it, but that was pretty much unprecedented. And they got there and they got completely killed by the Bears, 46-10. Then it was not until Bledsoe was 5 years into his career, 4 or 5 years in, they get back and Green Bay runs them over, 14-point win. And then Brady, Belichick and Brady, 25 years ago. And since then, this is 9 for those two. And now this one with Vrabel and May. Does the fact that it's not Belichick and Brady help a little?
No.
Not really? Not at all?
No. I shouldn't say.
That'd be worse.
Yeah, no, it's the same, and it might be worse if it was them again. Like, I don't know if they had, so, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine both of them still being there because of the way it ended. But like, and there's no way they would have dipped like New England dipped and then still been there to come out the other end, I guess. So I don't even want to sit with that for too long. But no, the lack of familiarity with Vrabel and or Drake May. I mean, not that Vrabel's no stranger. He was the Tennessee coach, and they were a 1 seed during this run the Bills have been on. So it's not like he's a complete stranger. And of course, he was an important player on some of those early New England Super Bowl teams. So there's a familiarity there. May's relatively new, and there's a lot to like about Drake May, but I'm going to have no trouble getting to I don't like the way his face looks inside his helmet at this point, because they're just it was easy to like, yeah, there's a lot of positive signs, things to like about them. I think New England's got a good thing going there with Drake May. But that was before they passed me like I was, broken down with only 3 working tires on my car on the side of the road here on the way to a Super Bowl. Now I'm not proud of this. It's absolutely jealousy. but I wasn't ready for it. And so it's all coming back, even though it's not Belichick and Brady. And it might be, I don't know, there's a case to be made that it's worse because they changed over and it just did not take. I mean, I'm also stuck with having lived through a 2 decades worth of dominance that they exerted over me and the league. But, I feel it here as a Bills fan. And it shouldn't take that long for a team to get back on their feet. Turnover, right? Changed over the roster, find a new franchise quarterback. It just happened to take the Bills 17 years. So when as I say, sometimes I get pushback. Like, it's been 5 years. Belichick left, not 5 years ago, but Brady did. And, it fell apart for them. And eventually Belichick left. And now they're back. And it's not, it's not that quick, really, in the NFL, what they did. It's just that we lived through it. I would have liked the Patriots to be down for a little bit longer.
Another decade.
Another decade would have been great. I would have taken another couple of years. Like, once we got to look at May last season, even, think about how a lot of us, I know how I felt coming into the year. There's a lot to like about him and them, and I respect his coach. But they're not ready to go be a contender yet. This is not how it works. They were 4-13 2 years in a row. And yet, there they are. They're there. And so, I don't know. I said to Sam an hour ago, like, I think I'm going to bet Seattle up on a bigger spread than what's out there. What the legitimate spread of the game is set at 4.5. I'm going to go much bigger than that. A lot of that is my heart. I just can't stand the idea of New England winning this game. And like either way, here, we're really getting to it now. I'm sorry, this is turning into like a therapy session for me, but this game overall for me is a loser because on one side I've got everything I just said about New England and them being back, and I do not need that fan base empowered again. I mean, they already are. They're there, win or lose. They made the Super Bowl. The Bills haven't even done that with Josh Allen. Here's Drake May in year 2. It's like, that's driving me crazy. And on the other side, while I really respect, I love that Ross Tucker got to talk to Sam Darnold on the field after the NFC Championship game, the career he's had. I respect that story and admire his perseverance. But guess what I don't really need? I don't need the 3rd pick in the 2018 draft getting on the board with a pelt with a Super Bowl, Sam Darnold, while I'm sitting over here with Josh Allen going, I can't seem to figure it out. So it's annoying from all sides to me. And I think what I've mostly been doing here for 2 weeks is just not paying a lot of attention to it because it's going to sting no matter what.
Last year we had the Chiefs again, which made not just us, but kind of everybody crazy, and you lose to them. They go to the Super Bowl and get crushed, which makes it worse. They couldn't even hang in the Super Bowl itself. Now this year, you've got the Patriots from last place to the game versus Darnold. What's next year? The Jets and who?
Right.
What is next year?
Mitch Trubisky goes to some team. No, I don't even know. I don't know how much that would annoy me. I'm trying.
It's just Diggs too.
Right, sure.
Not everybody loves Diggs.
That's there too. Yeah. I don't know what would be the McDermott. He's not gonna, but McDermott takes over some NFC
takes over the
team.
Browns,
right? No, well, you said Jets and whom? So I need an NFC team. Him to take. Sean McVay walks away somehow. Nobody saw it coming, and like they call McDermott, he goes there and
he gets sick or something,
and they win the Super Bowl. Like that.
What could be worse?
That's where we're living. That's how I feel about it, anyway. I wish it felt better getting that out, but it really doesn't.
Well,
I just feel sour, and I don't like feeling sour.
How do you write this? I mean, the drought is almost entirely dominated by New England, but the Bills didn't have a top pick very often in those years. I mean, they drafted Darius when they picked in the top 5 once. They drafted Mike Williams in the top 5 at the very beginning of it all. They drafted J.P. Lossman mid to late first round in 2004, trading back in for their quarterback of the future hopeful. They drafted E.J. Manuel in the middle of that, hoping they didn't draft Drake May.
Right.
And I think it's partly that. The Bills also didn't hire Mike Vrabel or any version of him in the drought years. They couldn't. They didn't want to. Like maybe one little bit of both. I mean, they didn't attract the top candidates, and he was a top candidate. I mean, he had
for sure
ties to the franchise, which makes it easier.
Right. And when we dipped into our past, we brought Marv Levy back as GM. You know, like
So-
I don't like how that sounds. I mean, we all love Marv, but I mean that was not a credible move at all.
No, right. He had that card to walk around with,
Yeah.
who was on the team. So you're a little bit outranked here. I mean, the Patriots get lucky with May. There's a lot of luck in that, but he's also the 3rd overall pick.
Right.
And some years, maybe this one, the 3rd overall pick does not offer you a top quarterback prospect, but that year it did.
Yeah, the year the Bills were 3rd overall, that's Cam Newton, right? And so, I mean, and that was good enough. That was great for maybe not as long as Carolina would have liked, but still, like that worked. But there were defensive guys after that, right? I mean, that's Von Miller, and the Bills picked Darius.
There were 4 quarterbacks picked in that first round in 2011, and the Bills passed on 3 because they couldn't get to Newton. If they even would have picked Cam Newton, probably they would have, I guess. But Jake Locker, Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder. The Bills decided to go no on those 3 guys, and they went to Darius. That was a great draft, by the way. It's, other than those quarterbacks all flamed out.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good draft.
Very much so. Yeah.
So you didn't have the luck or the foresight, whatever it is, to get to the quarterback like New England did with May. You really didn't have the credibility to get to a top coaching candidate like the Patriots had with Vrabel. And there might be more to it. I mean, it's not. I think this is safe to say, and the Bills themselves have decided this, that there's some flaw from within that has kept them from getting to this game, whether it was this year or another year. Maybe they beat New England 2 weeks ago, but they didn't give themselves the chance.
Right.
And then other years, you've got the greatness of Kansas City and that one Bengal year. So we all know this. It's just depressing, I guess. But I want it to make sense. I want to know what the future holds and not think, for our purposes, that, and I don't think this, I don't have to work for this, that the Patriots are just a level above. I don't think they are. I think they might not even be as good as the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
But, scoreboard.
Right.
They made it.
They made it work. Right. They got themselves in a spot where they had those advantageous matchups, and they got to play Denver a week later than the Bills did because they won the division and they were the 2 seed, and so they got to play Jarrett Stidham instead of Bo Nix, and all of it. Play Houston at home and have them give the ball away 5 times or whatever it was. Just insanity. So, yeah, I mean, they deserve. They got where they got. I'm having a very hard time buying that they're so good.
The Bills did pick in that 2011 draft, by the way, Aaron Williams, who was good.
Yep.
With the 202, the second pick of the second round, and the next 2 picks after Williams were quarterbacks who did pretty well. Dalton and Kaepernick. Could have done that. There was a lot of what you could have done at quarterback with the Bills over those many drought years. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. We'll be right back. This is WGR. continues. Trista Crick, 5:30.
Giddy up.
Been a while. Here's Josh with us. Hi, Josh.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Hey, guys. So I'm calling from Charlotte. So I actually got to see Drake May play in high school and stuff. He went to high school here at Myers Park. And I knew he was good and stuff like that. But just as a Bills fan, it's just so frustrating to hear people in Charlotte talk about, oh, you know, you got to pull for Drake May. You know, he's from Charlotte. I'm like, no, I'm a Bills fan. It's like a Yankees fan cheering for the Red Sox. It's like it's just something you can't do. And so it's just really frustrating. And honestly, I just think this year, you know, with their schedule and stuff, and I know it's, you know, just luck of the draw and, you know, them finishing last year, but I just really think they're just a fluky team that got there, and it's just everything fell their way in the playoffs and stuff like that. But I completely agree with you and Bulldog on what y'all were saying earlier. So I just want to say that. Appreciate y'all.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh.
Aaron Schatz said they're both better than we think.
Yep.
The Seahawks and the Patriots. When the Bills had 2021, maybe it was, quintessentially a year where they got knocked for how easy their schedule was, including from within their division, but they still won. You know, they didn't get the one, as we know, but they still had a runaway year. All you can do is beat those teams, and the more you beat them by, the more convincing you are as a top team. And that's what they did that year. They blew out those bad teams on their schedule mostly. And the Patriots didn't blow out a lot of teams, but, you know, they were not really stressed either too many times. The Ravens, a game I didn't see, the Sunday night game in Baltimore late in the season, Jackson gets hurt in the first half of this game, and they have to come back and win that. And they do it, but they also outgained Baltimore pretty decisively that night. I mentioned to Mike Giardi on Wednesday the win they had in Tampa. It's pretty good. I mean, that was a decent team. Tampa kind of fell apart, but they were looked at as pretty good at the time, and they won that game.
That to me is like their last really solid win. You know, the
Ravens.
The Ravens, but the Ravens were, I think, just so on life support at that point. Like I don't.
Okay.
They did destroy. I mean, they did. This is like the, you know, beat who's in front of you, and if you really beat them, then credit to you. I mean, they did annihilate the Jets and the Dolphins the last 2 weeks of the season, and they killed the Giants before they played the Bills too. So they did some of what, you know, you're sort of alluding to. I freely admit it's a bitterness and a bias that's coming out. But I do think there's a, you know, looking at their schedule and who they played and who they beat, it's just not that impressive. I'm kind of like the caller. I think they fell into a really good year. They full marks. They won these games. I'll be really curious to see what it looks like next year, like them and the Bills. Like what do the odds tell you, and what, you know, when it gets going, what does it really look like? Are they you know, are the Bills at the level they've been at? I mean, despite it falling short again, they won 12 games again. You know, most years here that would have been enough to win the division. Last year it was enough to win the division comfortably. But that changed. Like, is New England really that? You know, playing a first-place schedule, we'll get a look at that and see what it does to them, if anything. Maybe they just keep going. I don't know. May is good, and the coach, I think, is good. So they've got good. I don't think they're terrible. I don't think they're not good. I just don't think they're really in Seattle's class.
If they lose Sunday, is New England at Buffalo to open the stadium on a Sunday night? I mean, squarely in the window?
I think so, yeah.
I would too. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, 803-0550. This is WGR.
in so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, alright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life.
The Buffalo Sabres head into the Olympic break in a playoff spot, wild card at number 1 in the East, and this comes even after dropping their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4. The Sabres will be back in action on the 25th at New Jersey, while for the Olympics, Tage Thompson for the United States and Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden are the Sabres taking place. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland was initially going to, but is unable to participate due to a lower body injury. Over to the NFL. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend. Patriots versus Seahawks. Seattle looking for their first championship since 2013, their second overall, while New England is going for their 7th overall, their first since 2018. And a win on Sunday will also give the Patriots a sole lead in Super Bowl victories. They are currently tied with Pittsburgh. Kickoff on Sunday is at 6:30, and coverage right here on WGR will begin at 4 p.m. And then some coaching news in the NFL. Browns DC Jim Schwartz has resigned as defensive coordinator. There were rumblings this could happen after Todd Monken was named the head coach, and now it is official. However, Schwartz will likely have to sit out the season as he's still under contract with the Browns. And then Cliff Kingsbury is joining the Rams staff as an offensive assistant. His exact title is to be determined. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Welcome to the Hotel Hell. Check-in time is now, check-out time is never.
It's Mike Schopp.
Does my room have cable?
No. And the sheets are made of fire.
Can I change rooms?
Sorry, we're all booked up. Hell convention in town.
And the Bulldog.
Can I have a late checkout?
I'll have to talk to the manager.
You're not the manager, even in your own fantasy?
I'm the owner. The co-owner. With Satan.
It's Mike Schopp.
Okay. Just so I understand it, in your wildest fantasy, you are in hell, and you are co-running a bed and breakfast with the devil.
And the Bulldog.
Yeah, but I haven't told you my salary yet.
Go.
$80,000 a year.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Oh, I just realized what I want to say. I'm going to say it Friday at 5 o'clock, on Friday at 5 o'clock. It was bad enough on a Tuesday at 3:15, let alone people getting out of work 5 minutes ago. This point about the Bills, though, and how bitter they might be, or, anybody might be about them not being in this game. Isn't it true, though, that, which team in the NFL would be more frustrated that they're not playing Sunday than the Bills? Like, who has more of a claim to it than the Bills? Not even Denver, I think. Like, Denver losing Knicks is a huge blow. I mean, that hurts. Maybe they win if they have them. Maybe they don't anyway. Who knows if the Bills make it. But even though it was the second round when they lost, and part of it is the few years before, this is one where, I mean, you can only go so far. New England won more games, and they split. You know, they also beat the Bills, so you can only take it so far. But I can't think of a team in the league that would be more upset to not be playing than the Bills would be. And I think last year, it would be the same. In the NFC this year, nobody has a case but the Seahawks. You know, the Rams were really good. They lost to the Seahawks, you know? If the Bills had gone to New England last week or 2 weeks ago, AFC Championship, and lost, then again, like, what can you do? You can be bitter about it from the standpoint of the last few years.
Right.
But they didn't get the chance to do that. They blew the chance to do that. Anyway, nobody in the NFC, I would say, has any claim to, it should have been us. AFC, Bills are the closest, I think. Not even Denver. And then last year, the Bills lose the AFC Championship to Kansas City. Winnable game. Could have been us. It's the Chiefs, though. It's a little harder when it's the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
NFC, Philadelphia is beating Washington to get to the Super Bowl. Nobody on Washington is thinking. They got blown out. Like, nobody on Washington is going, it really should have been us this year.
Yeah.
No, they came out of nowhere. Well, that's what the Patriots just did. If the Patriots lose to the Bills in the AFC Championship, I mean, hey, you got close.
Yeah.
You also made up huge ground and can feel great about your future. It wasn't like you had to go all the way this year. You went from 4 wins to 14.
Right. You know, one of those years maybe on the NFC side, Detroit, not this year. Obviously, they didn't even make it into the pool. But
that's good.
Detroit could have been 2 years ago when it was all the fourth down stuff in the playoff loss that got them. Like they went over on or whatever. They missed on a lot of fourth downs they didn't get there. And
then they lose to Washington last year.
Right.
That's right. Detroit's good.
They've got maybe a leg, but yeah, that's. I mean, and that's why I never really wanted. It didn't all need to rest on Josh Allen, right? The way the whole thing was sort of positioned, the narrative around the playoff pool this year in the AFC. But you know, to me, it's undeniable that no Burrow, no Jackson, no Mahomes. You've got Josh Allen. Like, I never wanted to completely line up with pushing back against that as being unfair. I would sort of middle it a little with, like, if they were the 1 seed, I could listen to it, that they're home and they better get there or else. But I think looking back even now, how that game went, the Denver game, how they lost the Denver game, the mistakes that were made by Allen in the game. I think about it now. I think it's less unfair than it was at the time. When you look at it now, at how it all shook out, like, yeah, of course they should have got there. What are you kidding me? 5 turnovers? I mean, Allen committed 4 of them. You can argue about the last one, so even 3 still. Right? The one at the end of the half is just unfathomably bad, and you just gift wrap them 3 points, and you lose in overtime by 3 points. It's tough, but it makes that the whole idea of if not now when Bills / Josh Allen, I feel it's more valid than it was when it was first being said. When you look back at the benefit of how it shook out here. I mean, they were better than Denver, but the turnovers killed them. And so who knows? Maybe they go to New England and he turns it over 3 or 4 more times, and that blows that chance too. I don't know, but man, it really stings. And I think once we settle in, I think it'll sting even more. I do feel, we talked about this early in the week, the way everything happened, we weren't forced to, but I mean, you kind of were forced to change the conversation from what just happened to, oh my God, what are we going to, how they're firing the coach? How did they fire the coach? Did they pay him the proper amount of respect? There was just so much, a mountain of stuff. And then it's a coaching search and it's all of this stuff. I mean, come on, if we're talking in a bar 6 months from now, I think I'm straight up going to tell you they blew it. They blew it. And maybe it's fair to say Allen blew it. He missed open guys, and he's got the foot. There's always something. But, man, it was a glorious opportunity, even having to go on the road. Going on the road, you tell me at the beginning of the year I got a chance to go to the Super Bowl without Mahomes, Allen, or Burrow in the way?
Jackson, yeah.
Jackson, yeah, thank you. I don't think I care where I'm going. I'll play those games on the moon. Fine. It's tough. It really stings. And I don't think I have had, myself, the proper amount of time to sort of process the sting, again, because of the sequence of events that unfolded, 48 hours after the game. Boom, the coach is gone, and we're processing and dealing with that and talking about that.
It might be a little different, I'll say for myself, if it's a Seattle blowout. Because last year happened, and one conversation we would have after the Super Bowl was, would the Bills even have beaten Philadelphia, actually? Like, it was such a mismatch. You never know, though. Like, they don't get blown out ever, the Bills. So,
yeah.
But if Seattle wins by 40 or something, if Seattle wins a game like the Eagles did a year ago, that helps a little.
Sure.
It's just for rationalization, though. It's just to sort of take the pain away.
I wasn't going to be able to handle that anyway, right?
But I don't feel that way, actually, about that hypothetical matchup, though. And I said this the other day. Like, bring on Sam Darnold if I'm the Bills in this game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's confuse him. I could see it. And Allen is, there were turnovers, but he's mostly undeniable. So bring on Seattle's new Legion of Boom, whatever they're calling it. Like, bring it on, because the Bills went out there last year and won by 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's a different season. Still, like, if we're talking about them playing Sunday as we're talking right now, I think I'd feel great about their chances. They would have won in New England. That would have made it even better to be optimistic. Of course, none of this happened.
Life as a Buffalo sports fan.
I like that you brought up Detroit, because I think 2023, Detroit is that team.
Yeah.
Should have been us. Their other defensive players got hurt.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop anybody. Washington beats them. Should have been us. They could have said it. And it would have been Baltimore saying that in 2023 when they had the AFC Championship at home and fumbled on the 1-yard line and lose a low-scoring close game to the Chiefs. That would have been their turn to say that. More than the Bills, who lose to the Chiefs the week before at home that year. Let's go to Bill here. Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys. Well, let me start with, I've been watching football my entire life, religiously, every Sunday, whatever teams. But, I go back to the end of OJ's career to Ferguson, handed the ball to Joe Cribbs. I mean, way back, Bob Chandler. And for the first time in my life, that Bills game, that one crushed me. Just with that call that ref made. Like, I'm off the couch going, that's a catch, that's a catch, that's a catch. Just mark the ball back where it is, kick the field and get out of here. And all of a sudden, Denver's ball. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So since that game, I have not watched a down of football. I have no interest in watching any of these games. And it's the first time in my life I've never watched a down of football. That crushed me, that loss. And then the domino effect that happened after with – I'm somebody that's called before and said, Bean needs to go, keep McDermott with a new GM. So you can imagine how that hit when he got a promotion and McDermott got removed. And that call just changed. It was a domino effect. Like, McDermott got fired because of it. And I'm pretty sure the Bills could have gone to New England and beat them like they did, a month prior. I think the Bills would have been in the Super Bowl. And I really thought, ironically, although the year was up and down, this team, with the receivers they had and everything else, I thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't know if they would have won, but I thought they were going to finally get there. And the domino effect just killed me. It crushed me. I just don't like the direction it went. I don't like the way they handled the whole thing. And just the way being, okay, I want credit for Allen, but I don't want credit for Keon Coleman pick. It's really messy. I can't get past it in my head. I'm not watching the Super Bowl this year. I still want New England to lose, but like for the first time in my life, I have no interest in watching football, and it's because of that loss. And then you add on top of that, last year when they marked the ball short of the first down, when the referee that had the eyes on Allen's back came in and remarked it, and they lost that game, 2 years in a row, I feel like we got jobbed by the refs. And I'm not a big conspiracy theory against the refs, but those two losses, one year after another, killed me, and I don't even want to watch NFL football right now. That's how I feel about it.
Do you know what you're going to do on Sunday? Are you're definitely not going to watch the game? You got other plans?
He'll be calling GR.
I think I'm going. I think I'm going to Batavia Downs, but the game will probably be on there. But I'll try not to watch. I have no interest. I don't want to see New England hoisting a trophy. I don't even think they're that good of a team. You were talking earlier. I just don't think they're that good. I just don't. But we'll see what happens. But like I don't know if I'll get past it. I've been watching the Bills my whole life. I have a hard time, and now I don't like the front office. I don't like the way they handle things. It's in a sick, twisted way. For the first time in my life, if they lose next year, it's not going to bother me. It's almost going to be like, you know what? You had this coming, almost like karma. That's how I feel. I don't know if I feel like that way in 3-4 months.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, like, I'd love to talk to you in once the season gets, you smell it a little bit, because that can change pretty quick, I think. Once you see it on the horizon, the game is on, and you're just like, it's comfortable to just settle back into, yep, okay, go team.
My, not struggle, but my battle, I guess, with talking about the Bills through the long offseason the last few years is that the season seems, well, the word isn't anticlimactic because it's not the end, but just sort of like a formality. It's almost like the regular season is the preseason, and then all that's going to matter is what happens in the playoffs. And we've predicted that for the last 3 years, if not longer, and it's been right. And so, I enjoy the season. I play all this fantasy too. Like I'm occupied by it. I'm not turning it off. But back in my mind, I'm going, all that's going to matter is what happens in the playoffs, and that has been the case. And I think this year would have to be the same. But new coach, new stadium. The stadium will be a huge talking point this offseason, and it won't be that they're in such tough shape that it will be a distraction from the roster or anything like that. There's still going to be a big favorite to make the playoffs. So it's not quite like that. Look over here. We have a new stadium. No, it's not quite like that. Right. New coach, new stadium will make this year look different and feel different, even if they win the same 11 or 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, it's another year. Every successive one makes this more pronounced that, okay, well, let's just get to January and see if we can make the catch or the kick next time. Like, it's just sort of how it is. It's not boring, but it's not as interesting when it's such almost a given. I know the team would never think of it this way, but that they'll be in. The stadium and also the coach it's fresh paint.
Yeah, and we'll be, I bet, hopefully trying to discern what is different and therefore what will make it different in January. Are they passing, 55% of the time instead of 50% or whatever they've been pretty 50-50. I'm getting into the weeds a little bit now, but like different coach, all right, what does that mean? It's a lot of what is consuming the airwaves now is like, what does Joe Brady want to do? Right? Was the emphasis on the running game out of necessity because of what the head coach wanted? Was it out of necessity because of personnel? Was it a way just to protect Josh Allen? I think it's probably all of some of the above. But what changes? And will that work for them when it matters? If they get back to, they find their way to a couple of impactful receivers. Maybe they hit one in the draft and they trade or find a free agent. And so I've got something that as the season is going on, it's pretty bankable. It's 12 targets a game and 6 catches, and I got a guy. I got one of those guys again. Okay, 100-catch guy that can beat man coverage, just beat anything you're doing to me. I got a guy for it. All right? So they lean into the pass, and if that happens, then there'll be a lot of like, oh, well, this is what's going to make the difference. They're more like they were 4 years ago. And we'll be here reminding you, 4 years ago, they didn't get there either. It's always something, right? Maybe they were too reliant on the pass, 4 years ago. I don't know. But the new coach gives you that runway to sort of look for signs of what's new and better and different, and therefore I'll get a new, better, different result when I get to January.
Here's Mark next. Hi, Mark.
Hey, guys. Kind of doing a slow burn here for the last couple of weeks. And I get that Allen is the franchise quarterback and he bears the weight. But how many times did we see this kid in the playoffs walk off the field with the lead and we got let down by Mr. Defense, his head coach, Sean McDermott? The Texans, 13 seconds. Yeah, the kid turned the ball over against Denver, but he left the field with the lead. We couldn't get off the field defensively. I mean, this guy, he doesn't have to play hero ball if the defense is making a stop or two here and there. And I know there's injuries, and I get all that, and it's a part of it. Don't want to make it an excuse, but it's a part of it, and I get it. Now, should Bean have gone to instead of McDermott? Who knows? You don't have a crystal ball. I kind of think it was a bold move because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep doing the same thing, So maybe somebody on defense will help this guy so he can actually get to the promised land and get us a championship. That's all I got to say. Have a good weekend.
All right, Mark, thanks. I have a very hard time lumping the loss to Denver in with other defensive playoff failures. I push back against the defense being the problem all the time, but I think it's almost impossible to make the case in the Denver game. I mean, they turned it over 5 times. You just don't. You're going to have a very hard time winning. They stopped them in overtime and got the ball back. I know they gave up a drive at the end of regulation, but the turnovers were brutal in that game. I mean, I think it's very much over there. It's sort of ironic that it ends for McDermott after that game. That is not like it's to me. It's just doesn't belong in the same basket with the other ones where yes, I know the scores are all similar enough and the result is of course the same, but I just think it's a very different animal that last game this year.
I think it's a little different. I've been that way more toward the caller's point for these recent playoff losses. Still do need to stop. It was still there. He's not wrong. And no sacks again in the game, it wasn't like the defense was great against Denver, but should they be blamed more than Allen or the offense? It's a debate. I brought a card in today.
I think it's an absurd debate. I just don't even think it's close.
Okay.
What's your card?
33 points.
5 turnovers.
Art Shell.
Last word. Listen to us. We're
Art
12.
Shell. Are you still talking? Art Shell is my point.
I'm done. Art Shell. Thank you.
Is there anything absurd about him you want to point out? Is it yes, the stance he's in?
Yeah, that doesn't look like that looks like more like a boxing stance almost than a blocking stance.
Should I hold it up for longer than half a second on YouTube here? Art Shell's rookie card, 1973, a boxing stance, or he's really happy about something.
Right.
Something was just said.
Right.
Act like you just got good news and you're 6.
You're jumping for joy.
Yeah, just sort of, yay!
Yeah.
73 tops Art Shell. Jumped out at me. Just looking at the pictures, 70s football, some of them are just so bad. This one isn't bad, it's just funny.
I love how this. I'm just seeing it now. There's a little bit of a lag, so I at least maybe I'm just not up to date. But I love the way that looks on the video feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks good. Well, G was zooming in on it. That's why. Now I see
the zoom.
Now I see the camera moving around.
I put it back up.
Yeah.
It also blocks out at least probably some of my head.
It was doing that too, and that's not why I liked it. I'll say that.
Art Shell. There he is, the great man. Trista Crick coming up next from Santa Clara. If she's still there. I know she was out there. I'm pretty sure. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. This is WGR.
The Buffalo Sabres head into the Olympic break in a playoff spot, wild card number 1 in the East. And this comes even after dropping their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4. But the Sabres will be back in action later this month on the 25th at New Jersey. For the Olympics, Tage Thompson for the United States and Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden are the Sabres taking place, while Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen originally was going to participate for Finland but cannot due to a lower body injury. To the Super Bowl in San Francisco. It is Super Bowl Sunday this weekend. Patriots versus the Seahawks. Seattle looking for their first championship since 2013, their second overall, while New England is going for their 7th overall and first since 2018. And a win on Sunday will also give the Patriots the sole lead in Super Bowl victories, as they are currently tied with Pittsburgh. Kickoff on Sunday is at 6:30, and coverage right here on WGR will begin at 4 p.m. Then some other coaching news in the NFL. Browns DC Jim Schwartz has resigned as defensive coordinator. There were rumblings this could happen after Todd Monken was named the head coach, and now it is official, though Schwartz is likely going to have to sit out this season as he is still under contract with Cleveland. And Cliff Kingsbury is joining the Rams staff as an offensive assistant, though his exact title is to be determined. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Been too long. Joining us now on the West Shore Hotline is Trista Crick, longtime friend of ours, and I think maybe you're just too busy. I don't know. I like that we can still reach out to you, and you might say yes.
If I'm not caught up in something, I'm always going to say yes.
Okay, that's good to
Here,
know.
though, as you guys know, you just never really quite can fathom what type of tomfoolery you're going to get pulled into at any time. So today, today thankfully, is a little slower than the rest of the week. I'm happy to join you guys. I'm happy to be with you.
How many Super Bowls for you is this?
I started in 51. This is 9.
Okay.
Or is that 10?
9 or 10, I think. How does this one compare so far?
Well, I think you've got pros and cons, right? Like, you're talking about maybe some of the best weather that you've ever seen in San Francisco this entire week. I mean, it's 70 degrees. Trista? Yeah. She's a service animal. We got some problems here getting into the Super Bowl.
Uh-oh. You got your dog with you.
Yes, always. We're headed to the hotel. So, anyway, it's the weather has been incredible. 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, no marine layer, no fog. So, I mean, but most of the activity.
You still there?
This hotel was in the Tenderloin, and I'm going to tell you, it was everything Fox News says Portland is what it was. It's been overall a lot of events. The hospitality of the Moscone Center and the Convention Center have been great.
Mm-hmm.
My voice is pretty much gone. My brain is scrambled. I can barely talk, but overall it's been great.
51 was your first. 50 was our last, or 40 was our
40
last?
40 was our last.
40 was our last.
40 was your last.
The Stones played halftime in Detroit. That's the last time we were at we've never stayed for the game. Are you a high roller now? Are you going to be like on the sidelines watching this game, or are you flying home before the game?
Well, I was planning to leave today, and then the partners over at Meta asked me to go to the game and capture some behind-the-scenes content. So who am I to say no to a free
Right, no, that's a hard yes right away. Yeah,
I said, sure.
Yeah,
sure, just say yes. And I'm going to this amazing tailgate that's put on by Bullseye Group. They do a bunch of different hospitality for different events for the NFL. And they've got this players tailgate. I think there's 13 celebrity chefs from Food Network that are putting out different dishes. And I think there's going to be a bunch of different athletes that are not playing in the game. And so I'm excited to capture what that experience is like. I've never been in a high roller tailgate before.
That'd be fun. The chefs, I'd like that.
Me too.
Trista, it could have been the Bills again. Like we have this conversation at the end of every season. I think of any team not in this game, they're the one that would probably be the most bitter about it. Maybe Denver, but the Bills could easily have been there, and we've said that so many times. But it finally got them to a point where they made a coaching change. Were you really surprised by that or no?
I was pretty surprised, guys. I thought that the way that the game went, I didn't think that there were coaching reasons. Maybe that's just me as like a national insider watching the game. And then maybe you say, okay, but there were other playoff appearances, Sean McDermott. And, largely there's been so many injuries. I think, to be honest, I think Brandon Beane should be taking a lot more smoke and heat than he's taken. Somehow he's coming out here smelling like a rose.
He is taking a lot of heat, I think, locally, more than he ever has before. And that was really going on even before the season started. It was sort of smoldering a little. And I think he is. But, I think, he's next to the owner during these games. And there was some kind of a divide that happened over the course of the last 12 months or so. I don't know when it started exactly, but there were clues all through the football season that if you had been with us, and I'm not, complaining that you weren't, but all year McDermott was sort of throwing these little jabs about the roster and different moves that weren't made and different things. And it just started to sound like there's a fork in the road here. And I think Pagula and Bean sensed that, and I think that they worked to alleviate it because they're talking a lot about alignment now and all kinds of stuff. So it's been a weird few weeks, I'd say.
Isn't it odd for him to be promoted, though?
I mean, sure. It seems to me that this is just what is the easiest thing for the owner to do. Keep the manager who's going to, run the coaching search, which ended up not even taking them out of their own building in the end. But still, firing the GM, I think is a heavier lift for the owner. So I'm not sure he didn't prefer Bean to stay around just in a vacuum, but I think this is a little bit safer for an owner to do than the opposite.
I mean, but what does safe mean as an owner, truly? You own the team. The team can't really be taken from you unless there's some sort of serious malfeasance. You're just dealing with PR. Let's be honest about Buffalo fans. Buffalo fans aren't going to stop going to games. This is just a very rabid, loyal, awesome fan base, one of the best fan bases in all of the NFL. So, what does safe mean? There's really no reason for an owner, a billionaire, to be safe.
Fair enough. With Trista Crick, what do you think happens Sunday?
I think we have a defensive slog, honestly. I don't think we're going to get much fireworks. Obviously, Seattle was one of the top defenses all across the board, pretty much in every one of those nerd categories. They're, top three, but mostly not three. And then you've got the Patriots who, once they got Milton Williams back, really shored up their run defense. Their pass defense has been top 10 pretty much all year long. Drake May has had a rough-ass postseason. And some of that had to do with the opponents and their defenses and the weather that came out of nowhere. But I'm a little bit suspicious about how that's gone. And then, Sam Darnold is one interception away from 4 interceptions. And so I think there's going to be some defense that's largely dictating how this game goes. And I do think we get a Rashid Shaheed sort of special teams touchdown.
Go ahead.
Seeing a defensive game on the horizon, maybe you would like to know that Mike and I, along with our buddy Sam Panay, have got a Nick Emenworry for MVP bet at a pretty tasty price.
But he's hurt now.
That price?
But he is dinged. Yeah, right.
Plus 50,000.
Yeah.
His ankle he's got a bum ankle, right?
Yeah, right.
$25 pays $12,000.
Oh.
Right?
Man, put some down for me. I'm not in a legal betting zone.
Don't want him to be hurt, though. I mean, really, the least we were going to get was 2 weeks of fun just imagining it. I mean, still not likely to win, but I also think it's the kind of game you think. And that is where, I mean, it wasn't the matchup yet. We did this before the Seahawks played their first playoff game, but I see that same kind of game, and that's perfect. That's a perfect recipe for a defensive winner.
Well, 100%. I hope I'm wrong, though. Truly hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see offense. I mean, nobody wants to be in the building. I was at, Rams Patriots? Golly, that was a terrible Super Bowl, one of the worst I've ever. Like, I was there in person, and I would have rather have been at home and turned the TV off and watched something on Netflix. It was just gross. Like, nothing happened. Nobody felt good about either one winning. And the way that it happened was so weird. Obviously, Todd Gurley had, 8 carries or something like that, and you could tell there was something wrong with him. And so I don't want to see that. I really, truly would love to see Drake May and Sam Darnold go toe-for-toe, very similarly to what we saw with Rams Seahawks, where it's like, well, clearly these defenses are just getting broken, and so maybe you get a coaching master class from both McDonald and Vrabel, where they're able to sort of in the soft spots in coverage. You're
guaranteed Bad Bunny. I'm remembering now 3 years ago talking with you before Rihanna, and you were predicting songs, right? You're trying to predict like which songs she would perform at halftime, and maybe you did pretty well at that. What do you? There's this. Everybody's talking about this guy, and you know what it means that he's there and everything. You had something to say, I think, about just sort of his being at the height of his powers.
I think it's really funny because they hired Jay-Z, and I think the approach is now, let's get somebody to perform that's in the current zeitgeist, not that's past their prime and that instills nostalgia. And I think that's better for a global game, too, because I don't think anybody is really living overseas in, I don't know, Brazil or China, and they're like, you know what, I want to see Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
No,
right.
I think when you get current Grammy winners performing in the Super Bowl, regardless of how you feel about their music, you still know that they are at the top of their game. They are winning the biggest awards right, like a week before they perform. And I think that's super cool. I think there's something to be said for someone who's not trying to restart their career, but this is just furthering their legacy in the moment.
I like it.
I do like this point, too. Yeah, I mean, I have not been super familiar with the artists that have performed the last few years, but I watch the show and can appreciate whatever they're about, try to get something out of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing this halftime show myself.
I know people are super pumped. There's people trying to get tickets to the Super Bowl just for Bad Bunny, which is wild. I remember my first Super Bowl, that was Lady Gaga coming down from the roof in the like wire, and nobody knew where she was going to come from. That was an awesome Super Bowl. But I truly believe that Super Bowl halftime shows are made for TV and not for the people in the building. You're so far away, you can barely hear anything, you can barely see anything. But I hope you guys have an awesome time.
Everything about the NFL is made for TV.
Right.
Everything.
If you could get on the field like pre and post, and you get to see all the stars, that's really cool.
I'm sure. Great to talk to you again, Trista. Go have your Friday night. It is true, right, Bulldog? I remember it this way, too, that Friday is when it slows down. Because some people do leave by today.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yes. Friends and Neighbors, Season 2, John Hamm. I know you didn't ask me what I watched, what was watching, but I'm interested in that. Also, go and see Wonder Man on Disney Plus. I think it's going to go down as one of the best Marvel miniseries. It's set in L.A. A guy with supernatural powers is a struggling actor. Some stuff.
All right.
Ben Kingsley in it.
Good. Noted. Did you watch Pluribus?
I bailed after episode 2. She's miserable. She's the most miserable woman.
See, because I started watching that John Hamm show and didn't get 4 or 5 episodes in and decided I hate this show. I hate him. I hate all these people. I'm out. And I love Pluribus.
Wow.
This is maybe our first split.
We have a split. Yeah, we do. Yeah. I hope this doesn't harm our friendship in the future.
Well, I love you.
Yeah,
Don't DM me on Twitter and apologize. We just leave it right here.
I was not going to do that.
My 3 shows right now are The Traitors UK, and The Traitors Australia.
I love The Traitors. You know what? Really quickly, people ask me when I've never been able to tell people what my experience was truly like for them to understand my time at Barstool. Ron Funches, his time as a traitor was my time at Barstool. So if you're watching Traitors and you want to know, like, truly how that felt for me, which you probably don't. That's how it was.
Wasn't he just on with? Didn't Mina Kimes just have him on her podcast by the way?
Awesome interview. And that's when I decided, nope, I don't want to be on Traders. I definitely don't.
At least you weren't the Michael Rappaport of your team when you were.
I was kind of like Ron and Michael together.
Oh.
Like, we don't care if you're good or not. We just want you out. We don't like you.
It's hard to believe knowing you. Okay.
No, I'm very likable. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. I hope you guys win all your bets.
Thank you, Trista. Likewise. Enjoy the game Sunday.
All right. Take care.
Trista Crick and her dog. We didn't get to talk about her mom this time. A little bit of a shorter window.
That's all right. Yeah.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back. This is WGR. Trista about Rihanna and the halftime show, and in typical person my age or older fashion, like, oh, that was last year. But that was not last year. Kendrick Lamar was last year.
Right.
Oh, that had to be the year before. It was not the year before that either. That was someone else. And then I had to go back 3 years.
It's one of these things where, like we talked with Joe yesterday, 4 years ago, because we were talking about Winter Olympics men's ice hockey. It's been that long. When?
Yeah, the first time it was just he and I. And he asked me what I thought Stephon Diggs' prop would be for yards. And I got it close. He's like, oh, look at you. He was sort of almost like he sounded surprised or just he was impressed. And that would have been off of his first big year here, which would have been the COVID year. So I think spring of 21 probably. The Sabres lost. You were there?
Yeah, it's not a, they just were not, they just weren't sharp. You know, the errant passes, the first goal is a breakaway off of an offensive zone faceoff that they won. It was a bad night. They missed the net a bunch. I mean, Thompson had a handful of really great chances himself, but they missed the net a lot. It was just not, they just were not buttoned up. So much for, I don't like the timing of the break. You know, right. It seemed like they were going to go into the break on such a heater, and instead they've lost 3 or 4. I mean, they picked up a point in one of the losses, so they got, half the points available to them in these games. But man, 3 out of 4 is 3 out of 4. They're going to have to get right when they get back. 5 points is the lead from safety, where they are to where Columbus and Washington now both are 5 points back of them.
Their next 3 games are at Jersey, at Florida, at Tampa, and then Vegas is here.
Right.
But that's all 3 weeks away. We got the Olympics now. Men's downhill tomorrow morning. I mean, before the sun comes up.
5:30 a.m. I saw. I'm contemplating getting up for that.
I don't think you will.
I think you're probably right.
You don't have to be there for the beginning.
No.
Everybody goes down twice.
That's right.
You catch it in the middle, a couple hours maybe.
Yeah. But I love that. Franz Klammer 76 is that is my Olympic moment, I'm 11 years old, and that just absolutely blew my mind. Like the announcers, the thrill of it, like him winning like that was just fantastic.
Was it in color?
It was in color, yeah.
That's good.
It is so good. I watched it yesterday. I think yesterday might have been the anniversary of it. And the announcers are the color man is like, he almost went down again. It was so exciting. It was really, really great.
I think I've probably never seen it, so I should check it out.
Oh, you should watch it. It's a really great call.
Sam Panay joined us earlier. Some Super Bowl prop advice and more with Sam after this break. And the update, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Bulldog here once more.
Thursday, today is Friday.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
We so excited, we gonna have a ball today. Tomorrow is Saturday.
I'm itching inside. My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I took Deborah, went to the liquor store, I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Looking forward to the weekend. Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
We so excited. We gonna have a ball today. Tomorrow is Saturday.
I'm itching inside. My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I took Deborah, went to the liquor store, I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Looking forward to the weekend. Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
We so excited. We gonna have a ball today. Tomorrow is Saturday.
I'm itching inside. My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I took Deborah, went to the liquor store, I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.